Hey guys, how's it going? Figured I'd hop in here, show you guys around, show you guys what I've been working on today. And so far, this is what we got. So I'm going to quickly show you guys from the editor mode, and then I'm going to go ahead and press play and do a quick little walkthrough. Won't really be able to do too much at the moment because things are still getting built, and most of what I'm doing right now is level design, not really integrating the systems quite yet. I did bring over 3 Machina spawners, which we'll get into in a few minutes. Let's go down here, and we'll head into our sewer area. And you got some pipes going on here, some sewage. Each of the pipes does actually connect to the house. So the pipes do actually all correspond to where each of the homes are. It's kind of cool. And they do lead the player to this direction over here, which is the opening, which is going to be a tunnel that will collapse more than likely. It will collapse. It's just a matter of how it's going to collapse, I should say. I'm either going to do a cutscene, do a sequence, do some animation. Either way, it's got to be animated to a certain degree. Or the other option is I just run it through a timeline and I drop a boulder from the sky. Preferably, I would personally like to do the sequence. I think the sequence is a little bit better. It adds a little bit more of a cutscene dynamic to the game, and it's just a little bit more another level of presentation. I don't really want to say professionalism, but more just presentation at that point. Moving from there, we're back over to here. We went through there. We're back here now. And this area here is going to have some combat happening. Don't really know what I'm going to be putting in here. Let me see, because I can actually look over at my other monitor. And so yeah, this is still sewage. This is still sewage stuff happening here. And then in here is where the boiler is going to be. So right now we have some, don't really know if I'm going to use these as the boiler. These were kind of the steam tanks that I was using last time, 2 months ago. But I might use these as the boiler here. I might just model something into it and make use of what's currently here, because it does have some decent functionality and some stuff that I could play with there. Move to our nice little pit of oil and fire, which I really wish this actually wasn't doing the effects when I'm in editor mode, only because if you can imagine, I'm in here, for a couple of hours working on a little scene or working on something, and thankfully it's in the middle and it's not really in my view, but I'd have that constantly going off, and it's just a little bit of a pain in the butt, but looks cool, so I kind of want to keep it. There will probably be some sort of a collectible in the middle of the friggin' oil. Why not? I'm probably going to have the player have to, walk across this imaginary bridge that you can't see right now. Walk this way and around the fire to get to, here. Get the object, go back all the way around, and get back to here. Pretty much if the player falls into the oil, I think I might have said lava before, but if the player falls into the oil, they'll die. That's not going to be an oops. We're gonna let you. We're gonna teleport you back to your little safe spot or something. No, you're dead. But that means the reward has to be good. So I don't know what the reward is going to be. It would have to be something I did not make yet, because I kind of feel like rewarding the player with a health potion or a attack or defense. Well, maybe a defense potion, but I kind of feel like that might not be rewarding enough. So we'll see. We will see. And then coming out of here, not up that way, eventually, but not quite yet. Coming out of here, there does have to be a way into what would be Section 5. This would be technically Section 4C, or... yeah, this would technically be 2C. I have to redo my map. I messed it up again. Oh no, I'm looking at my old map. Okay, that's why. Alright. Yeah, this would be technically 2C. Fire. Yeah, 2C. This would be 2B, or not 2B, depending on how you want to look at it. And this would be 2A. Technically, this would be like an annex to 2A, but this is really more of a transition spot. I really wouldn't call this a set location. I didn't really map it out as a set location going down into there. So yeah, let's go ahead and give it a play. It's not going to be a start location. It's, you know. There we go. Let's play the game. Kind of helps if we bring that in. Player start location is not going to be there, by the way. I just threw that there for not really wanting to deal with figuring out where I'm going to put it right at the moment. And hold on one moment. Oops. There we go. Let's make sure the full screen is actually on. Alright. So we can see that we have the houses here. These are probably going to get replaced. These are just placeholders at the moment. Probably going to replace them with similar houses. Just ones that the doors do open and close. These ones don't. Going over to our Machina cores, we have 3 now instead of 1. And that was because the suggestion was not to have it as like a gotcha where it was a random. Text has to all be changed. This is not stuff I'm going to be working on right now. Mainly so it's not overlapping the way it is right now. But the main bit of feedback that I got as far as that was that it shouldn't be like a gotcha where it's a random chance as to what you're getting as far as your Machina. You should, the player has a choice, then give them a choice, and that makes sense. So now, if you go over to the first one, it'll be a dishwasher. I'm going to say no, if I say yes, I would pick it up. Second one will be a blowtorch. And last but not least is our wooden one. I am actually going to take one of these, so I want to see if they can come in here yet. No, it's not. That is okay. That is okay, that works. I just was not sure. Technically now with the new update, the Machina is going to follow the player, next to the player, and walk around with the player. So it'll be the equivalency of, if I remember correctly, Pokemon Yellow with Pikachu, or any of the more recent Pokemon games where your battle buddy is your companion and they're actually out in the world with you. The other thing that will be changing from the stuff that Chris was working on with his mechanic is that the player will be able to switch who they are controlling versus always staying as the humanoid player character. They'll be able to actually switch to the Machina, and they will be able to interact with the world around them, push buttons, things like that. If you picture, I don't know if you guys played it, if you picture Portal, where 2 people playing at the same time, playing together or whatever, and one person may have to step on a pressure pad to open the door so that the other person can get through, and on the other side there might be a cog wheel that the player has to spin in order to open the door again so that the second player can get through. That was just a very, very brief and simple explanation. Also probably the explanation of what I'm actually going to be using, but that's not, I don't believe that particular one is from Portal. That was actually just one that I was quickly spitballing with the team earlier yesterday or day before. And quickly go over here to the bridge because we're not really going to be able to go too much up here in the surface level. So this bridge area here is actually going to be a training area for the player as the mind switch, as the Machina. So what they're going to be doing is they are going to be able to switch to the Machina and fly from this area to that area, because if the player lands into the water, it would technically send them right back to here. This area will not kill the player. This is kind of that safety area where it's a practice area, and one of the stipulations with a practice area is the player should not be penalized for failure. Failure in this case would be the result of the player falling into the water, and then they would just get ported right back to this side. They wouldn't get ported over to the other side. That would be rewarding the player. And that is one very important distinction that I do want to make, that a lot of people do kind of get messed up, is that, well, no, because we're not punishing the player, we have to bring the player there. No, you don't. The player still has to practice. So we have to bring him back to here. And the other thing is, if the player is not, say the player doesn't want to switch to the Machina and they don't want to practice that, they don't have to. I'm not forcing them. They can technically jump to there, and because of how I space things out, jump to there, and they would technically be able to get around. Now, one thing I will say is that there probably will be enemies on that bridge over there, because, well, technically not doing what I want you to do. I really want you to actually practice here, but okay, if you don't want to practice there, you don't want to do what I want you to do, well, pay the cost. Go into combat, do whatever. This area here is going to be another water area. Undecided a little bit as to the layout. I really, really would like to somehow get a waterfall going. I was playing around with the river, water rivers, stuff built into Unreal Engine, and it seems workable. I just need to work on it, practice it a little bit, see how I'm going with that. I definitely like to have the motion of it. It looked good. So we'll see from there. We are going to head back over to the city, over to our little village over there, and we're going to head down and head into the underground. Now, the player will be prompted when they start the game that there are 3 paths for them to choose to go. They will not be able to do all 3 in one gameplay. So the player will have to choose a path and pretty much stick to it. However, that gets down to replayability. Then the player can replay the game, play as possibly a different Machina. Since there's 3 Machinas, there's also 3 paths. So you can always test your luck different ways. Heading into here, we're going to head down into our abandoned well. This abandoned well is kind of already been emptied out already, so we're going to head down into here. I did miss that jump over to there, but I did get caught on this jump. We just have a few here so that the player sees and knows that they can actually jump down and get all the way down into here. Now we're down into our sewer area. Now this is the piping area. This is that area from before. Here we have our pipes that are leading to each of the houses that we just saw above. And this one right here to our Machina core area. Machina training building. We'll have to think of a name for it. And everything is leading the player pointing towards this direction. Now I know it seems weird because you might think, well, no, that's an arrow pointing this direction here. But that's technically also a closed loop, and that would be the open loop. I know it seems weird. Bear with me on it. But we also have these kind of pointing the player to this direction. As opposed to if I did everything to this side, and then it would lead over to this direction. Also, lighting and things like that will be changing in here. Right now, these are pretty much at their maximum brightness. Don't really particularly want it at its maximum brightness, but I do have to find the balance between the lights and the post-process volume, which is controlling things like the exposure, a few other things like that. Going into here, now that section that we just left, that section there, is where the rock's probably going to fall down and close off this area, because the player is technically going to be allowed to leave from here. And how they're actually going to be able to leave from here, you guessed it, they're going to be using flight in order to get up there. So what they would have to do is fly from the ground to one of those rocks, onto one of those rocks, onto one of those rocks. I can't jump that high because, well, I only jump at like 300 or 400. So the Machina, the player playing as the Machina, will have to turn around, fly up there if they want to go back up there. Heading into here, this area here is going to have some combat happening. This is also going to be part of the sewer area. There's going to be some sewage happening here, so can't really say what we're going to have here yet. I haven't fully decided. Probably some traps of some kind or another. I just don't know what. I haven't decided yet. Moving into here, we move into our boiler area, furnace area, pretty much a big industrial area. We have our gears going. Those will have sound added to them. They don't at the moment right now. And we have our oil. Now, if the player falls into oil like I am right now, they will be killed. There will be some sort of, like I said, some sort of a bridge going around here where the player will be able to, let's see, am I going to be able to get out of here? Yes, okay. Where the player will be able to go over there, have a chance of receiving a reward, or if they fall or get killed or something nasty happens to them, then that shall happen and they'll fall and die. So we'll see what happens. Somewhere from here there will be an exit, but at the moment there is absolutely no exit. So currently I'm kind of stuck down here until somebody rescues me. Anyway guys, hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. As always, take care and have a good one.